Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadanti Supadandikam Mandeham Shri Gurum Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Rughunatham Vidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Sabadudam Parjana Saidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shivishakam Vidam Syam Ye Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesya Kripa Sindhu Bhevacham Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Dinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajarine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shikshartham Eka Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shariradhari Kripam Pudiryatamaham Prabhadye Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Surupagam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktigam Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hari Om Tat Sat. So we are reading from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, chapter 20. We are continuing chapter 20. Okay. Hare Krishna, Pariyal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Danda Pranam. So we are reading from this para. The Supreme Absolute Truth has his inconceivable potency, out of which this cosmic manifestation is produced. In other words, the Supreme Absolute Truth supplies the ingredients and the living entity and cosmic manifestation of the byproducts. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, it is clearly stated, Yado va imani bhutani jayante. The Absolute Truth is the original reservoir of all ingredients, and this material world and its living entities are produced from those ingredients. So Mahavishnu creates all the universes in this material world from his breathing. When he breathes out from his skin pores, millions and billions and trillions of universes comes out. Then he impregnates the material nature with all the living entities as per their past karma and desire. Then he expands himself and enter each and every universe. Then he supplies all the ingredients required for the secondary creation to Brahma. So this is how it is done. So he is the original reservoir of all ingredients, which are there are 24 main elements, okay, for creating different living entities, bodies. Okay. So with the different permutation combination of these ingredients, different species of lives are created by whom? By Lord Brahma. But who is the original creator? The primary creator is Lord Vishnu. So Mahavishnu, as he breathes out from his skin pores, millions and billions or trillions of universes are coming out. He expands as Garbhosai Vishnu and enters each and every universe. And Lord Vishnu glances and impregnates the material nature with all living entities as per their past karma and desires. He gives all the material ingredients for creating different species according to their vasana. Okay, that's how this material creation is done. But originally, the reservoir of all these ingredients, okay, it is Lord Vishnu. So less intelligent persons who cannot understand this doctrine of byproducts cannot grasp how the cosmic manifestation and the living entity are simultaneously one with and different from the absolute truth. So this is the tattva that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given to us. Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva. Simultaneously one but different. Why? What is simultaneously one? That we all have the same qualities that the Lord, Supreme Lord has, but in minute quantity. Okay, that is difference. Difference is we don't have the 100% in quantity, the qualities that Lord possesses. We have all the qualities, but in very, very minute quantity. So this is Achintya Veda Abheda Tattva. Inconceivable, simultaneous, one but one with different. Not understanding this, one concludes that the doctrine of byproducts implies that the absolute truth itself is transformed. So some school of thoughts teaches that the absolute truth has transformed itself as Jivatma, living entities. That is not true. Unnecessarily fearing this, one then concludes that this cosmic manifestation and the living entity are false. Shankaracharya gives the example of a rope being mistaken for a snake. And sometimes the example of mistaking an oyster shell for gold is cited. But surely such arguments are always of cheating. So the example of mistaking a rope for the snake or an oyster shell for gold is not the right example. But Adi Shankaracharya has given this example, that this Brahma Satyam Jagad Mithya. So what is Satyam, what is truth is only Brahman. And Jagat, this material universe is just like a dream. It is Mithya. So the original is snake, but we are mistaking that snake for a rope. That's why Prabhupada says it's a wrong, it's cheating, it's not the right example that we should give. The Jagat is also there, it's not Mithya, it's not a dream, it is real. So what is the speciality here in this? This is temporary. The Jagat, this material universe is not unreal. It is real, but it is temporary. It manifests and unmanifests, comes and goes. It's not eternal. So that's the only difference. And we cannot say that we are dreaming. This is our illusion. What we are going through is not illusion. Mithya means illusion, unreal. Okay, just like mistaking, on a very sunny day, if you go on, by road, far you'll find mirage. Mirage. Actually, we think that there is water, but there is no water. That is illusion. But this material world, it's not an illusion. It is real. It is there. You and me and all are there physically. We are very much, present. It's not an illusion. It's not a dream. So that's why Prabhupada is telling it's cheating. As mentioned in the Mandukya Upanishad, the examples of mistaking a rope for a snake and an oyster shell for gold have the proper application and can be understood as follows. The living entity in its original constitutional position is pure spirit. When a human being identifies himself with a material body, his misidentification is like mistaking a rope for a snake or an oyster shell for gold. So where this example can be applied, we are treating ourselves, as body. When we have the bodily conception of life, forgetting the real self as Atma or soul, which is Satchidananda, that's an illusion. That is mistaking the self for the body. So there we can apply this example, not otherwise. The doctrine of illusory transformation of state is accepted when one thing is mistaken for another. Actually, the body is not the living entity, but according to the doctrine of illusory transformation of state, one accepts the body as the living entity. Every conditioned soul is undoubtedly contaminated by this doctrine of illusory transformational stage. So we are all on that plane of misidentifying ourselves to be this body. We seldom relate ourselves with the soul, which is Satchidananda. So when somebody asks us, who are you? Say, we don't say part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Although it is our real identity, we say, my name is, so and so, Ramesh or Rakesh or Gopi, whatever it is. And I belong to so and so country. Okay, I work as a professor or a pilot or an accountant, or a driver or a teacher, and I speak so and so language, and I am the son of so and so. These are our identification. But is it our real identity? It is not our real identity. Our real identity, Mamai Vamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So that is our real identity. But unfortunately, this identity, if we say, the people will laugh. Okay, who are you? Can you please, brief about yourself? Then we have to say, I'm so and so person. I belong to so and so country. I'm working as so and so. I'm son and so, son of so and so, daughter of so and so. This is my profession. This is my qualification. So this is our identification. We don't say, I am part and parcel of Supreme Lord Krishna. Isn't it? So even last time, I remember having said, Guru Maharaj went to Calcutta for getting some printing done in some magazine, spiritual magazine. So there was a teacher who was getting the books printed for kindergarten, okay, KG class. So this, it is in Bengali. Who are you? So the answer is given. Okay, I am Ramesh, I am Suresh, I am this, that. So Guru Maharaj read this, then asked the teacher, suppose if the student answered this question, I am the part and parcel of Supreme Lord, or I am the soul, how much mark will you give? Then teacher said 0. So what is taught in the school is all temporary. All temporary. It's not unreal, but it's temporary. The real answer, you don't get any mark. So this is what our schools are teaching. Definitely, this is a state, our state. So this is all illusion. We don't know our real identity. So misidentifying ourselves to be the body, that's illusion. That's what. That can be applied here. So this example can be applied here. Misidentifying ourselves for our body is, illusion. So the conditioned state of the living entity is diseased condition. What is the diseased condition? Okay. We have skin diseases. What is the skin diseases? Me, my wife, my father, my mother, my children, my neighbor, my friends, all related to our skin, extended sense gratification. But how long? 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, 100 years, beyond that, we cannot identify that. But the soul remains. Okay. But this connection with the spouse or parents or children or neighbors, it is there only for a particular period. It is temporary. Then we get connected to somebody else. Our parents changes, our children changes, spouse changes, everything changes. So eternally, we don't have a particular relationship. Eternally, our relationship is with the Supreme Lord. So instead of referring to that identity, we refer to that temporary identity. So that is, what is referred here. Originally, the living entity and the original cause of this cosmic manifestation exist outside the state of transformation. But mistaken thoughts and arguments can overcome a person when he forgets the inconceivable energies of the Supreme Lord. Even in the material world, there are many examples of inconceivable energy. Sun has been producing unlimited energy from time immemorial, and so many byproducts results from the sun. Yet there is no change in the heat and temperature of the sun itself. If the sun, despite being a material product, can maintain its original temperature and yet produce so many byproducts? Is it difficult to understand the supreme absolute truth remains unchanged in spite of producing so many byproducts by his inconceivable energy? Thus, there is no question of transformation as far as the supreme absolute is concerned. So here, Prabhupada is clearly mentioning that from Supreme Lord, many varieties of energies are coming out. He doesn't diminish because many energies are coming. It is in the material calculation. Yeah, when I have 1 million rupees, I take some 500,000 rupees from that. It diminishes by 500,000. The balance is 500,000. Similarly, if anything is taken from Supreme Lord, he never diminishes. Or anything is given to Supreme Lord, he never increases in his listing. So that is what here in the purport Prabhupada is very clearly saying. He unchanges. He is unchanged. He is not transforming himself to become individual souls. It is his energies. We are all his energies. He never diminishes when so many emanations comes out. He still remains perfect and complete, Purnam, absolute. So Supreme Absolute Truth is always full, complete and perfect. How much ever his energies emanates from him. So many billions and trillions of universes comes out. But still he remains full. So in Vedic literatures, there is information of a material object called a touchstone, Parasmani, which simply by touch can transform iron into gold. The touchstone can produce an unlimited quantity of gold and yet remain unchanged. Only in the state of ignorance can one accept the Mayavada conclusion that this cosmic manifestation and the living entities are false or illusion. So as per Mayavada philosophy, this cosmic manifestation and the living entities are false or illusory or mistaken to be something for something else. No sane man would attempt to impose ignorance and illusion upon the Supreme Absolute Truth, who is absolute in everything. Okay. We cannot, say that the Supreme Absolute Truth, transform into living entities and other varieties of energies, and he reduces in his potency. He is absolute in every condition, in every situation. There is no possibility of change, ignorance or illusion in him. Supreme Brahman, Supreme Absolute Truth is transcendental, completely different from all material conceptions and full of inconceivable potencies. The Svedasvatara Upanishad confirms that Supreme Absolute Personality of Godhead is full of inconceivable energies and that no one else possesses such energies. Okay, he has multi-various energies. It's not a one or two, multi-various energies. So with that energies, he maintains, he creates, maintains, and annihilates the material world. So the manifestation and manifestation, everything is taking place by different energies. So creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara. Everything is done by different energies in the material world. Okay, Hare Krishna. So far, any comments or any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll go continue. It is only by misunderstanding the inconceivable energies of the Supreme that one may conclude that Supreme Absolute Truth is impersonal. Such a deluded conclusion is experienced by a living being when he is in an acute stage of disease. So those who are considering this Absolute Truth, the Supreme Lord, as impersonal, is in a diseased condition. That's what Prabhupada says. It's not Prabhupada's, of course, it is in the scriptures. In Srimad Bhagavatam 3.33.3, there is a clear statement that the Supreme Atma, the Lord, has inconceivable and innumerable potencies. It's also stated in Brahma Samhita 5.5 that the Supreme Spirit has many variegated and inconceivable energies. Nor should one think that there is any possibility of ignorance existing in the absolute truth. If he possesses some ignorance, then how can he become the Supreme Lord? Okay, he is omniscient, all knowing. He is a person who knows past, present, and future. Okay, past, present, and future. In any nook and corner of the creation, be it spiritual or material, he knows what's happening. So how can you say that he is in ignorance? Nor should one think that there is any possibility of ignorance existing in the absolute truth. Ignorance and knowledge are conceptions in this world of duality. But in the absolute, there cannot be any ignorance. So this is this duality, ignorance and knowledge. It is a product of this material world only. In the absolute world, it is not there. Everything is knowledge only. If the absolute truth could be covered by ignorance, how could it be said to be absolute? Yeah, as I told you, if he is covered by ignorance, how can we call him as absolute? We cannot call him, isn't it? So this duality, dvanda, is only in the material world. Happiness, distress, good, bad, right, wrong, cold, hot. These are all dvanda. It is there only in this material world. It is not there in the spiritual world. So any comments? Understanding the inconceivable energies of the absolute is the only solution to the question of duality. This is because duality arises from the inconceivable energies of the absolute. By his inconceivable energies, the supreme absolute truth can remain unchanged and yet produce this cosmic manifestation with all its living entities. Just like the forest money, the touchstone produces, many kilos or pounds of gold, or whatever it touches become gold, but still that touchstone remains same, isn't it? Similarly here also, he creates so many millions and billions of universes, but he is unchanged. He remains unchanged because the absolute truth has such inconceivable energies. The material quality of ignorance cannot pertain to him. The true variegatedness which exists in the absolute truth is a product of his inconceivable energies. Indeed, it can be safely concluded that this cosmic manifestation is but a byproduct of his inconceivable energies. Once we accept the inconceivable energy of the Supreme Lord, we'll find that there is no duality at all. Okay? Ekam Shena Siddho Jagat. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ekam Shena Siddho Jagat. This material realm, material world is, sustaining with a fragmental part of his inconceivable energy. Just a fragmental part. Eka Amsha. Make a fragmental part. The expansion of the energies of the Supreme Lord is as true as the Supreme Lord himself. But despite all the variegated manifestations of the Supreme Lord energy, there is no question of transformation for the Supreme Lord himself. He doesn't transform to anything else. He expands. Okay, he incarnates for performing various pastimes, but he never transforms. Just like in the material world, when he comes, he is not transforming himself, but his expansions, minute expansions, are the living entities. Are the living entities. Once again, the example of the touchstone can be cited. In spite of producing unlimited quantities of coal, touchstones remains the same. We therefore hear some sages say that the Supreme is the ingredient cause of the cosmic manifestation. Okay, Aham Bija Pradapida. I am the seed-giving father. Aham Bija Pradapida. So he is a seed-giving father for all of us. He never changes. So many, living entities are coming out of 84 lakhs different varieties, different species are coming, and we don't know what is the quantity in each, but still he remains same. Also, the example of the rope and the snake is not irregular. When we accept a rope to be a snake, it is to be understood that we have experienced a snake previously. So Prabhupada is, refuting the argument. No, if we mistake a rope to be a snake, that means definitely there is something called snake. That's it. We have experienced a snake previously. Otherwise, how can the rope be mistaken for a snake? So it is a reality that snake is there. Otherwise, we cannot say, I have mistaken this rope to be a snake. So the existence of snake is sure. Thus, the conception of a snake is not untrue or unreal in itself. It is a false identification that is untrue or unreal. So we misidentify. That is only the case. When by mistake we consider the rope to be a snake, that's our ignorance. But the very idea of a snake is not in itself ignorance. Okay? To mistake the rope as snake is ignorance. But the snake is real. That's why we are mistaking, a rope to be snake. Because there is a snake, we are mistaking. If there is no snake, how we can mistake a rope to be a snake? So snake is existing. Similarly, when we accept a mirage in the desert to be water, there is no question of water being a false concept. So water is there. It's not false. Water is a fact, but it is a mistake to think that there is water in the desert. Thus, this cosmic manifestation is not false, as Shankaracharya maintains. Jagat mithya. That's not true. Jagat is not mithya, it's not illusion, it's not false. It is real. So, what do we understand? It is real, but it is temporary. It's not mithya, it's not unreal, it's not false. Actually, there is nothing false here. It is because of ignorance that the Mayavadis say this world is false. The conclusion of the Vaishnava philosophy is that this cosmic manifestation is a byproduct of the inconceivable energies of the Supreme Lord. So, this manifestation of cosmic world is inconceivable energies of the Supreme Lord. The principles word in the Vedas, Pranava or Omkara, is the sound representation of the Supreme Lord. So he represents Omkara. That is a sound representation. Srimad Bhagavatam is also incarnation in the book form. Harinam is also his representation, Nama Prabhu. Isn't it? So therefore, Omkara should be considered supreme sound. But Shankaracharya has falsely preached that the phrase Tattvam Asi is the supreme vibration. So it seems that Adi Shankaracharya has said Tattvam Asi is the supreme vibration. But no, Omkara is the reservoir of the all energies of Supreme Lord. It's the sound vibration of Supreme Lord. From that only all other vibration comes. Shankara is wrong in maintaining that Tattvamasi is the supreme vibration of the Vedas. Tattvamasi, you are that. That is Tattvamasi. For Tattvamasi is only a secondary vibration. Tattvamasi suggests only a partial representation of the Vedas. In several verses of the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord has given importance to Omkara. He has not given Tattvamasi in Bhagavad Gita. He has said Omkara, Om. He has not given this Tattvamasi. Similarly, Omkara is given importance in the Atharva Veda and the Mandukya Upanishad. In his Bhagavad Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami has given great importance to Omkara. Omkara is the most confidential sound vibration of the Supreme Lord. Sound representation or name of the Supreme Lord is as good as the Supreme Lord himself. By vibrating such sound as Omkara or Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, one can be delivered from the contamination of this material world, because such vibrations of transcendental sound vibe can deliver a conditioned soul. They are known as Taraka mantras. So, from sound, it's created. Okay, we have come into this material world, and with sound, we get delivered also. How? It's a sound vibration from Omkara. From sound only, this creation has taken place, from the sound vibration. And by vibrating Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, we get delivered also from this material world. So, the creation, okay, is done by sound. The whole cosmic manifestation comes from his breathing, and that breathing is his Omkara, his sound vibration. And if you want to get out of this material existence, sound vibration helps. What is that? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And we can get delivered. So one can be delivered from the contamination of this material world, because such vibrations of transcendental sound can deliver a conditioned soul. They are known as Taraka mantras. That sound vibration of the Supreme Lord is identical with the Supreme Lord is confirmed in the Narada Panjara. There is no difference between his holy name and he himself. They are identical. His Nama Prabhu. Okay, here in the Narada Panjaratra, it is given Vyaktam hi Bhagavan eva Sakshan Narayana Swayam Ashtakshara Swarupena Mukheshu Parivartate. When the transcendental sound is vibrated by a conditioned soul, Supreme Lord is present on his tongue. You know, as we usually say, when we chant offenselessly, sincerely, with focus, with concentration, the Lord dances on our tongue. Lord is there. That's what it says. You know, when the transcendental sound is vibrated by a conditioned soul, Supreme Lord is present on his tongue. In the Mandukya Upanishad, it is said that when Omkara is chanted, one attains perfect spiritual vision. In other words, in spiritual vision or the spiritual world, there is nothing but Omkara. Unfortunately, Shankara has abandoned this chief word Omkara and has whimsically accepted Tattvamasi as a supreme vibration of the Vedas. By accepting such a secondary vibration and leaving aside the principal vibration, he has given up the direct interpretation of the scripture in favor of his own indirect interpretation. So, as per Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is a conversation between whom? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Prakasa and the Saraswati and his disciples. Okay, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining all these things to Prakasa and the Saraswati and his followers, who are followers of Adi Shankaracharya, the impersonal philosophy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is refuting the philosophy propagated by Shankaracharya. Okay, this is false, misinterpretation. He has misinterpreted the Vedas for his own, on his own, for his own pleasure, whatever it is. So Sripada Shankaracharya has unceremoniously obscured the Krishna consciousness described in the Purusha Vedanta Sutra by manufacturing an indirect interpretation and abandoning the direct interpretation. But why is he doing that? Okay, why he has to misinterpret and to confuse the general mass? That was the instruction given to him by Lord Vishnu. He is just obeying the instruction given to him by Lord Vishnu. He is not, wrong. But unfortunately, the followers takes his words as granted and, follows that. Although he has many times in his own composition, in his own scriptures, he has said that, it is not right. I've been instructed. And he says very, especially during the Samvada between Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, he says very clearly that Mayavadam Achas Shastram. In the age of Kali, I will come as Adi Shankara and confuse people just to bring back them from the atheism or Buddhism to impersonalism. And from impersonalism, it will be refined again to personalism by other acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhavacharya, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it's for a purpose. It's not that he deliberately confuses the public. It was the instruction of Lord Vishnu. Okay, unless we take all the statements of the Vedanta Sutra as self-evident, there is no point in studying the Vedanta Sutra. Interpreting the aphorisms of the Vedanta Sutra according to one's own whim is the greatest disservice to the self-evident Vedas. Okay, this Vedas, for example, the sun, does it require any external light? It is self-luminous. When sun is there, do we need to take a torch? Eh? It's not necessary. So that's why the Vedas is known as axiomatic truth. Self-evident, self-proven. It doesn't require any support. Okay, Vedas statements are correct. Something else support. No. Vedas are self-evident, self-proven. That's why it is called axiomatic truth. It doesn't require any support or supplement to prove its authenticity. Okay, that's why it is said Vedanta Sutra is as self-evident. There is no point in studying the Vedanta Sutra. Interpreting the aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra according to one's own whim is greatest disservice. So according to our understanding, we should not whimsically interpret. What is said in the Vedas, it's clear, crystal clear. We have to just accept it and give it as it is. We don't need anybody else's own interpretation. Yeah. As far as the Omkara Pranava is concerned, it is considered to be the sound incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As such, Omkara is eternal, unlimited, transcendental, supreme, and indestructible. He, Omkara, is the beginning, middle, and end. And he is beginningless as well. Okay, it looks contradictory when we read, he is the beginning, middle, and end. And he is beginningless as well. Now, how can we reconcile that? Okay, in the Brahma Samhita, the invocation mantra, Brahma also says, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigra Anadir. Adir Govinda. Anadir. It's no beginning, beginningless. Adir means is the original. So here beginning means there's an end, there's a middle, and he is beginningless. So when it is beginningless, how can he begin? How can we begin? So this contrast statement, in the absolute, it's okay. Because he is the Adi Purusha. There's nobody beyond him. That's why it is said, Lord Brahma says, Sarva Karana Karanam, cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. And there is no cause for that Sarva Karana Karanam. Then he cannot be absolute. So, in brief, he is the origin and he is beginningless also. is beginningless. We cannot find out. Now, if you just like in the materially, the egg, it comes from hen or hen comes from egg. Where it starts? Can we? Who is the original? If it is if egg, chicken is coming from egg, from where did the egg come from? Isn't it something like that? So this is Lord. It is inconceivable. We cannot use our tiny brain and fathom about this qualities and about the variegatedness and about the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Lord. So, when one understands Omkara as such, he becomes immortal. One should thus know Omkara as a representation of the Supreme situated in everyone's heart. One who understands Omkara and Vishnu as being one and the same, all-pervading, never laments in the material world, nor does he remain as Shudra. Siddha Goswami was asked by Shaunaka Rishi, all the sages headed by Shaunaka Rishi. The sixth question they asked 6 questions to Siddha Goswami. The last question asked, where did the religiosity take shelter after Lord Krishna departed from this material world? So the answer given to that is, it took shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is no difference between Krishna and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is the sound incarnation of Supreme Lord. There is no difference. So one who understands Omkara and Vishnu as being one and the same, all pervading, never laments in the material world, nor does he remain as Shudra. Shudra means one who is in ignorance. One who is in ignorance. He will never remain as an ignorant person. Okay. Any comments or anybody wants to share?
Hare Krishna. No.
Hare Krishna. Okay. We'll continue.
Yes.
Okay.
Prabhuji, I had a doubt that the Tarak mantra you said before sometime that it creates a different kind of sensation by which we can reach to the spiritual world. So that any mantra can create Tarak mantra, or only the Hare Krishna Maha mantra is Tarak mantra?
That is recommended for this age. There are different mantras. Okay. This particular mantra is recommended for this age. Okay. In Satya Yuga, there were different mantra. In Treta Yuga, there were different mantra. Okay, all holy names of the Lord only. But this particular mantra is given for people in the age of Kali, as given in the Kali Santarana Upanishad. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodasakam Nam, Kali Kalmasanasanam, Natha Paradaropaya, Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. This 16-worded Hare Krishna mantra, Kali Kalmachanashanam, it will destroy all the kalmachas of the Kali Yuga, all the anarthas, all the impurities of the Kali Yuga. What are the main impurities that we have in the age of Kali? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So it will destroy simply by chanting this Hare Krishna mantra. Natha Parataro Upaya. There is no other Upaya, there is no other way. Sarva Vedeshu Drishyate. This is the conclusion of all the Vedas. So that's why this is important. So different yugas, different processes, different mantras are there. So in Satya Yuga, our Narada Muni gave Dhruva Maharaj what mantra?
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Yes. That was given by Narada Muni. That's also mantra. Okay. And this also mantra. This mantra, what is specialty of this mantra? Why this mantra was given to us? Because it is not governed by any rules and regulations. All other mantras, Vedic mantras, to chant, we should have certain purity, certain qualification. And it is governed by Desha, Kala, Patra, time, place, and circumstances. Anybody and everybody cannot chant the Vedic mantras. We should have the purity and qualification to chant the mantras. So in the temple, can we go and do the puja, do the mantras, chant the mantras? We cannot.
Yes.
We are not allowed to, we are not qualified enough to do that. There are certain qualifications we should pursue. But this mantra is not governed. Anybody, anytime, any place, any circumstances can chant. That's why it is called Maha Mantra.
Prabhuji, so if the other Vedic mantra somebody is chanting in the mandir or some other place where he is not allowed, and then it will have negative impact on him?
Yes, definitely. For example, I'll tell you from our own scriptures, you know, what is that? Toshta, Vishwarupa, you know, actually the demigods, you know, they headed by Indra. Indra insulted our Brahaspati, the spiritual master. He did not respect Brahaspati. So Brahaspati got angry and left the scene, left the heavenly planet. He was invisible. Then they need Guru. So then the Brahmanas recommended, called Vishwarupa. Okay, Vishwarupa is from the mother's side, you know, Daman, and father's side, it's Devadas, something like that. Okay, and he was doing the this thing yajna, so he was giving the benefit of the oblations to his mother's side, Damans also. So he came to know, and to the Devadas also. So Indra came to know that he is cheating. So he chopped his head off. So Brahmaiti, another Brahmaiti. He insulted the first Guru, another Brahmaiti also. Okay. So Vishwarupa's father Toshta wanted to create somebody who can kill who? Indra. Because Indra killed his son Vishwarupa, who was acting as a guru for the demigods, because Brahaspati had left because he was insulted. So he wanted to, so he did a elaborate yajna, okay, to create a demon, and that demon was Vritasura. So actually he wanted a demon to kill Indra. So he was chanting the mantras. So, you know, by the will of the providence, by the arrangement of the Supreme Lord, he chanted mantra in such a way, I want a son who will be killed by Indra. You know, as pronunciation, a small mistake in the pronunciation of the mantra. So the meaning of that became like this. He wanted, his mantra was supposed to be, you know, meant like this. I want a son to kill Indra, Lord Indra. But instead, because of the mispronunciation, you know, of the mantra, the meaning came that I want a son who will be killed by Indra. So Indra was killed by, this Vritrasura was killed by Indra. So it is just by mispronouncing the mantra, a small mispronouncement of mantra, you know, instead of Indra being killed, Vritasura, the son of Tosta, the person who was created by Tosta was killed. Actually, what for he did he created this? To kill Indra, but instead he was killed. So this was a wrong pronunciation. So if he pronounce wrongly, if he chant this mantra, Vedic mantra, without any qualification, not as per Desha Kala Patra, it will have a negative effect. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Okay. So we should be careful. If you are not qualified, we should not take up this, because wrong pronunciation, it will create negative effect also. wrong time. Chanting mantra, Vedic mantra at a wrong time, wrong place, wrong circumstance, it will create problem. So this is safe.
Prabhuji, just one more doubt. The Bhagavad Gita slok, they come under the Vedic mantra?
No, it's not mantra. This is just, it's a conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. We can always chant this. Of course, again, this we cannot chant, in all places. We are not supposed to take Bhagavad Gita to toilet and chant. Okay, but this Hare Krishna mantra, even in toilet, it's no problem. That's why it is Mahamantra. It is not governed by rules and regulations. Now, chanting, I am reading Bhagavad Gita in toilet. Can anybody say that? But you can chant Hare Krishna mantra. There is no problem. So these are all holy, and we have to respect. This is not different from Supreme Lord. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. We cannot read and study in this thing. So that's why it is governed by rules and regulations. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so next week we'll continue from this. Lord has innumerable incarnations, and Omkara is one of them. Okay, from that, I'll stop here. Please mark this para. Okay, I'll stop sharing here. Hare Krishna.